Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Great Rich Show, the Orion Hotline. With me, of course, Dante Orion, here to answer any and all your manifesting questions and needs. Today's newsletter is going to cover disrespecting self for the sake of manifesting. So, I got a member-only email that just came in, and it covers this topic, but it's one that I wanted to talk about for a little while. And it's how people kind of pedestalize their desire or their said end, and they allow and tolerate certain things happening to them when, quite frankly, that identity that they've selected wouldn't tolerate that shit. And I know some coaches, right? I don't like that word. Some people on the internet say that it's just a part of the game, like suck it up. Like if you interact with it, it means that you're being an old identity. And I don't agree with that. I think that when you select the identity of who you are, and if you feel, again, it's all based upon the nudge that you get. So if it's the nudge to create something, you create it. If it's the nudge to say something, you say it. It's not sitting in a closet and affirming a trillion times a day. And it's not doing meditations until your fucking eyes bleed, right? This is a new way of thinking, and it's a new way of being. You aren't intrinsically like forcing yourself to do something. It's just a natural byproduct of who you are. As you select that identity and you live in the present moment and you do what you would do like as that version of yourself. It doesn't mean you go spend a bunch of money that you don't have, or it doesn't mean that you are fucking weird and blow up someone's phone, right? It means like as you're being it, these natural thoughts will come to you. And in some circumstances, in some situations, you may get faced and challenged by the old awareness that you once held. And in that case, what I like to do is stand up to it, right? So it could be in the form of someone disrespecting you. It could be in the form of relationships that no longer serve you. It could be in the sense like someone's trying to get money out of you or a situation and you don't agree with it. So some people like to decide internally how it is. What I personally like to do is fucking say it how it is, because I don't like tolerating disrespect if I feel like it's not congruent to who I am. And I don't tolerate the disrespect, right? I say it how it is. I say, don't talk to me like that. Or I cut the ties and I move on with my life, because I know if I actually want the thing, then I can give it to myself internally and it'll be like nothing ever happened, right? So let's go into this newsletter, this email. Dante, I've manifested and materialized so much good for myself. Money, opportunities, travel, health, housing, etc. But there's always that one area. But the one area of life that just isn't how I want to be is people. That's an affirmation. Yes, you already know this. I've had some challenging relationships in my life for a long time, and since applying what you teach, these relationships have improved. I've been getting treated better, having nicer places to go, making good memories together. However, I recently realized I just don't want them to be in my life at all. Yes. It's because this typically happens like as you focus on yourself, as you elevate internally, as you elevate your self-concept, your concepts of self, and who you are intrinsically as an identity, people and events and opportunities fall by the wayside, right? The job that you're currently in, it could just you could get fired as you decide, like, I'm in my true place doing what I love to do, or I'm making so much money, I absolutely love my job. And then the next day you get fired. Oh no. And then some people, they go, oh no, I want the job back. Or they go like, everything is going wrong. And then guess what? That's an affirmation. But as you shift internally, as you decide new, you're going to be faced with the unfoldment, sometimes the unfoldment of it, right? And this can look really bad in some circumstances. It could be you're getting fired. It could be the person that you're dating suddenly breaks up with you. It could be someone fucking sends you you get a random bill in the mail, right? When that happens, as you decide new now, as you decided your end, and you shifted internally, and now you're elevating yourself internally with self-concept and concept of self, you could be faced with the opposite. Or you could get a sudden feeling and intuition to be like, these people aren't that great for you. You don't really need these people. Or like, I just don't want to hang out with these people. And guess what? That's part of your unfoldment too. Because as you change and as you level up, people will not match you. And some people will fall by the wayside because you're no longer aligned with them, right? It's no longer part of your identity. Okay, continuing. However, I recently realized I just don't want them in my life at all. During one of our last interactions, I suddenly felt absolutely disgusted with myself for being willing to expose myself to those situations, even though they are so much better than before. It's like your hot water analogy. If you're freezing and shift into a warm shower, the contrast feels intense even if the water isn't actually scalding hot. Again, this is something that I like talking about in the sense that what isn't aligned with who you are internally will suddenly feel like there's crazy friction there. Like it won't feel right. Like I know some people say like feelings don't mean anything, but as you continue being the identity, as you continue selecting over and over and over again and having the discipline to know who you are internally. So like, let's say that I'm in the most perfect loving relationship ever, right? We're intensely committed with each other. Like again, it's passionate, the fireworks, you know, you give that to yourself internally. And then all of a sudden they suddenly disrespect you the next day, or all of a sudden, like again, job interview, or you get fired from the job, or something happens that's contrary to what you selected, or just not in alignment with who you are. So an example, someone disrespects you, and then you say, like, don't say that to me. Like, I don't want that. I don't tolerate that. That's not who I am. Or you feel that, like, kind of like the friction internally, right? You suddenly get the intuition, this person isn't right for me, or I just don't want to be around these people, or these people aren't good for me. Now, of course, you can always select that, like, these people are matching me, and these people are leveling up with me. But then again, that's a new awareness that you're selecting. So it's like, how much do you really want that? Versus you're selecting new people to enter your life, and then you just let go, and these people fall by the wayside, and even better people replace them. So it's up to you. But personally, what I've done is that as I continue to level up and people fall by the wayside, or you suddenly get the intuition of like, I don't really want to be around these people anymore, these people like aren't good for where I'm going, you just let it go. It's just a part of the process. It's a part of the unfoldment of who you are being, and an unfoldment of a new identity, a new reality. You can always bring these people back if you actually like them, right? You can always select that they're now part of your experience again. But sometimes that's for the better. So my question is, how the fuck do I hold this in my mind? The loudest story right now is those relationships failed. Here's what I did wrong. Here's what they did wrong. Ouch. I have healthier, more positive connections in my life, and I want to focus on that. Experience more of that. The old identity of resentment, confusion, and fear toward the ended relationships is only going to poison my other streams and crumble my other pillars. Or at least that's what you've decided. Remember that. But sometimes I get scared that internally revising it all kumbaya style will bring the underside people back into my life, which I don't want. How do I see this totally in my favor and move forward without thinking about them all the time? Help me, Master Yoda, right? Do or do not. There's no try. So, personally, what I would do is just fucking let them go, right? They don't add to your life. And if you keep thinking about them and like relationships failed, or bad people, or this happened and it's fucking bullshit, and you don't want to experience more of it, let them go. It's okay. It's okay to let people go. I've worked with people who like want a certain SP, who want to date a certain person, and then all of a sudden they focus on them, and then they elevate themselves, and then all of a sudden they don't really fucking want them, or that person slides back into their DMs, or they want to hang out or hook up, and then all of a sudden they go, I don't really want it. And that's okay. It's a part of the evolution of who you are. Just because that you've evolved and at one point you did want that doesn't mean that you have to have it now. And it doesn't have to, like, you don't have to fucking prove it to yourself or to your ego of, you know about manifesting, you know about this stuff, so why don't you get the thing that you wanted before, right? Because some people do that. Some people fucking comment, so did it work? Did it work for you? And it's like, there's the internal of kind of like the validation. And then you have to realize that, like, that's another trick of the old, where it's like, all this stuff worked out for you, but you didn't get to get X thing, and you don't even really want X thing, but it's the reason why you got into manifesting, or it's the reason why said thing happened, right? So you have to decide for yourself, like, do you actually want this person, or do you want to hang out with these people, or do you want these people in your life? And for some people, and for most people actually, no, you don't actually care. You don't actually want them. So it's better to just let it go, and that's okay, because if you decide in the future that you want to have the experience of either dating them or having them as friends or reacquainting with them, right? Reuniting with them, you can do that. You can select that as an experience for yourself, because again, there's only right now, and everything, future and past, are imaginal events that you're creating right now for you to experience that select a new moment of now. We're back. Sorry, everybody. I got fucking interrupted right there. We're on phone calls, and some people wanted to talk to me. So, as I was saying, you don't have to keep those people in your life, right? You're selecting it. You're selecting an experience for you. And if these people aren't good for you, or you don't even fucking want them in it, you don't have to have them in it. And then anytime your mind goes to those relationships that didn't work, or this is what you did wrong, you don't even have to acknowledge it. You just say, that isn't me anymore. I don't accept that. I don't validate that. Because what you don't validate, it loses the energy of. Because it's only those moments of, that's who I am. And when you're reselecting that for yourself is when it selects that as an experience for you that then materializes through other people or other events and other circumstances for you then to experience once again. So as you continue being a new identity, as you continue selecting again and again and again in the present moment of who you really are, right? Those experiences will then materialize. Those experiences will then validate to you after you've validated yourself. It's a constant game of selecting over and over and over again and having the discipline of remaining in the identity that you want to experience. Because when you start shifting out of it, that's when the old situations and circumstances then pop back up. And that's when you have to have the discipline of going, no, that's not me anymore. I am this now. And that can appear in a form of disrespect. It can appear in the form of the world seemingly falling around you, like crumbling around you. Because I've gotten emails of people getting fired from their jobs and then being in a state of panic, and then all of a sudden they get their dream job, or they start creating the content that they wanted to create, the business or the band or the music and whatever, and then that materializes for them as the identity that they've actually selected. So it's in a moment-to-moment basis of who did you actually choose to select? Because you're not going to validate or want to like hold on to like the stability as you're being this new version of yourself, because some things can seem unstable, but it's you remaining in that version of yourself and having the discipline and the persistence, because that's what that is, right? Persistence is the discipline in remaining who you were no matter what, being steadfast in that. And as you continue being that, then the world conforms to you because you selected a new reality for yourself to then experience. Okay? So don't allow yourself to kind of cling to the straws of who you once were for the sake of stability or for the sake of like being pleasant, right? Because that's not what this game is. This game is living your dream life. This game is selecting what you actually fucking want for yourself and then experiencing with it and being congruent with that. Because if you want to play safe, right? Like not keep all your eggs in one basket, because when you go all in, that's what you're doing. You're being a new version of yourself now, and you're not fucking looking back. You're being this now, and you're staying that. And that's when the fucking magic happens, because you didn't give yourself an out. And that's when you can allow the old fucking things that no longer serve you to fall by the wayside. Okay? So I know that helps. That will be the end of today's newsletter, and I will catch you guys in the next Orion Hotline. As always, forgot that. If you have your own questions, send it over to DanteOrion111@gmail.com. Members get first priority as long as they provide their YouTube handle. All right? I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.